This is a shoulder blade awareness drill with a band. So what we're after here is often when working with folks with some neck pain or some shoulder pain, or even just kind of going into some basic lifting technique. One of the hardest things I find to teach is understanding of where the shoulder blades are in space. I think it's hard because we can't see them. They have a lot of different movements available to them, and a lot of just the things that we have to do in the 21st century, phones, driving on a computer, tends to keep our shoulder blades in one position, so it can then be hard to deviate out of that. So if that sounds like you, or if I've given you this drill, the whole purpose is to just get an understanding of where your shoulder blades are in space. Once we have that, we can then often move on, but this is often a crucial first step. So we're going to use a band for a little help here. I'm going to get this anchored to something high. It could be the top of a doorway. And I'm going to come here, and my arms are just hanging with a little bit of a bend there. I want a little tension on the band. From here, I'm going to pull my elbows to my torso. So I'm not doing a full kind of row back here. I'm just getting my elbows to my torso to get a little muscular tension on here, keeping tight, elbows tight to my torso, elbows bent. And then from there, I'm going to move my shoulders up to my ears, that's elevation, and then do the opposite, get them down to the floor. Up to my ears, down to the floor as far as I can go. So that's one direction that the shoulder blades can move, is up and down. And often people are stuck in more this upward position. From there, we're going to hold this down position and then try and squeeze back and forward. I'm trying to do this not with my low back and not with my arms, so I got a little bit of a brace here, so I don't just arch my back, and I'm not leaning back. So I'm trying to open the buttons on a shirt and then round forward without shrugging up. So the whole purpose is I'm shrugging up, feeling where that is, high as I can go, getting as low as I can go, holding it there, and then going back and forward. Then we're going to feel the opposite. I am going to go up, and I'm going to go forward and back there. So I can see what that feels like. And then I'm going to go back down, forward, and back. And then I'm going to let this band take my arms and let it round me a little bit. And then I'm going to shrug up and shrug down. Up and down. Come back, open the buttons, crease the shirt in the front, center, back, center, up. So I'm just playing around with these different movements of the shoulder, nice and slow and controlled. Sometimes it's helpful to close your eyes, and I'm trying to make sure I'm not doing too much with my low back. And once my hands get here, I'm not sending my elbows further back, because I'm really trying to isolate these shoulder blade movements. And then come off the band and just see if you can kind of do a different thing. Hit those four corners, so to speak. Up, back, down, forward, up. Find center, down, back, forward. Because often what I find is people are a little bit stuck in the upward position, or if they can get them to relax when they go to do, let's say, a row, they squeeze back but up. So they can't keep it down and back. And so the whole purpose of that drill is to feel where your shoulder blades are in space. If it's painful, obviously don't continue. Some of these upward positions may not be the most comfortable. We're not going to be there long, but if they don't feel comfortable, and if you have shoulder or neck pain, this may be where you're living a lot of the time. And so we're trying to get more awareness of bringing things down, especially as we go into weighted or dynamic movement. It's rare that I want things to be crunched up here. We're trying to get space, and then that can give us better foundation for movement. I'll also mention that a lot of times people are worried about shoulder blades going forward. They don't want to slump. And so I think the position most people are worried about is this. They don't want to be here. But notice, this is still shoulder blades up. This is shoulder blades up and forward, and then a lean forward. That's where people are worried about. So if I get things down and roll forward, that's not a bad position. It's actually a necessary position, because as I go to reach, I need my shoulder blade to go forward to allow for a good reach forward or up. but I just don't want to reach and shrug because then I'm compressing all up here. I need to be able to reach and pull without coming into the neck and shoulder. And often I think that's where people go wrong in push-ups. They go to do a push-up, and as soon as they come on tension, they're up here in the neck. And then they're trying to push and reach and do things in this position, and then maybe the elbow flares out and that adds to it. And so we're trying to get this depression, and then we can get protraction and retraction without coming into that kind of slumped, elevated, and forward position. So hopefully that makes sense. I find that the band is a nice cue that helps to guide how the shoulder blades are moving and give a little feedback.